Central on Bulldog Sports TV, brought to you by Harrison County Community Hospital. We're your weekly home for in-depth coverage, highlights, and insider insight on everything South Harrison Bulldogs. Whether it's game-winning moments or what's coming up next, Sports Central is your front row seat to it all. It's time to break it down, fire it up, and celebrate Bulldog pride like never before. Let's join your host, CF Rainey and Andrew Sweat.
All right, so we welcome you into our fall wrap-up. We'll give everyone a moment to jump on here as we skipped our countdown there. But Andrew, it's been, right, we'll just talk before we get into the games. It's been a good fall. We've seen some places we've never seen before, made it all the way to Scotland County, and South Harrison had great seasons throughout, and we'll talk about them here in a moment as people are getting ready to jump on here, hopefully as you're getting dinner or after you get dinner here off work. But I really appreciate Andrew being with me throughout all of our Sports Centrals this fall, throughout our football games. And so we'll just jump into it, and then we'll kind of work our way back into just a wrap-up of all the fall shows. But Andrew, we went down to Cameron last week, and we knew it was going to be a tough game. Number one, it's the largest 2A school in the state, and we're one of the smallest. And they played a really tough schedule. And the amazing thing was, I went back and was watching video on it from our show that was on Misha TV. And man, South Harrison was right there early, even up to halftime.
Yeah,
they moved the ball. Then that first Cameron touchdown, I think we were both like, this could get out of hand. But South Harrison stayed in it there in that first half.
yeah, absolutely. And they had a really good running back, Chase Bell, who, yeah, like you said, after that, even that first touchdown, I kind of gave you a look. It's like, oh, this could be bad. And then, yeah, South Harrison held their own. They stuck in there against, like you said, a really big school compared to South Harrison. And then, Joel McCall went down with a bad injury. I think he tried to get back in there, but it turns out he had a broken bone, and things just kind of fell out of place since then. But that it's not a representation of the South Harrison Bulldogs season. They still fight. They fought till the end in that game, and it was a tough one. So we're definitely outmatched, but you couldn't ask for a better season and a better group of guys.
No, and it was the depth of Cameron that really, I think, affected South Harrison. They'd bring 3 or 4 new defensive players in, guys along the defensive front. They were able to rotate some of their offensive linemen that didn't have to play, whereas South Harrison, for the most part, all but one guy on either side of the ball is going both ways, playing special teams. I think that freshness of their legs is what made a difference, because it was 8-0. South Harrison was driving and end up give it up, and then they had Cameron in. I think I remember looking back, it was like a 3rd and 24. It was a 3rd and very long, and Cameron came with their option. They hadn't ran it up to that point. They'd been running a lot of dive and things. They got the edge, got the first down, and they were able to get 16-0. But it was just 16-0 at half, and South Harrison was battling. Came up with a turnover and got a stop down the red zone one time. But you mentioned Joel McCall, and it was I saw his family post a broken ankle, and so I mean that shows you his toughness and his want to as a senior to come back and play. They had him taped up, just not able to do it, and just I think it was Cameron's depth and size started to wear South Harrison down, and then once you get down 3 or 4 scores, especially I think 3 scores, you really kind of start doing things offensively you don't want to do. And South Harrison loves to run the ball, but you've got to take more chances, trick plays, throwing the ball, and then it just kind of snowballed a little bit for Cameron to get the win. So Cameron moves on. They'll play Mid-Buck Friday in the district championship. But Andrew, looking back from the very first game, you and I in the heat and the sun over in Milan, that very first football game on Bulldog Sports TV, just to see the progression of this team, and especially that big group of seniors as they go throughout their 4 years, and really send it off with a crescendo. 9-2 is a great record and a great season for the football team. I know probably in the midst of that loss, they don't feel that way, but a great season.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, like you said from the beginning of the year, this is a South Harrison team that we expected to be really good. One of the best in the GRC, and that takes a lot of props to actually live up to that hype that a lot of people gave them throughout the season. Sometimes it's easy to like look at the one top dog and get a little full of yourself and end up losing some easy GRC games, but they had a streak all year long of on the defensive side of the football, only allowing one score a game, and just really good football all year long. Good coaching by Chris Schoening and his staff. And yeah, someone kind of popped out unexpectedly was Jet Cornett. Like we said, he wasn't expected to be the starting quarterback. It was his senior year. He's played that receiver type position all of his career. Kind of got thwarted into the quarterback position, and he really grew throughout the season. Um, you could tell he was just becoming more and more comfortable throughout the year. So really impressed with him. And then you have the star-studded running backs, Craig Coffey, great as usual, and then Mason Galloway had kind of a breakout year in his senior season as well. So just really good overall.
Yeah, and a number of those guys end up with all conference. I'm sure when districts get over, you'll see some of those names pop up on all district teams, possibly some on all state. I know Craig
Yeah.
Coffey finished with over 4,000 career rushing yards, which is great. And I just pulled up the roster over here on this screen just to talk about those seniors and just list off their names as we're wrapping it up. Ethan Smith, Cameron Pitzenbarger, Joel McCall, Nick Mars, Ruger Johnson, Brendan Hoover, Mason Galloway, Camden Eckerson, and those are two in Hoover and Eckerson, guys that played that wing spot. Didn't run the ball a ton. When they did, they made some plays, but blocking that edge, those are a couple guys that we didn't necessarily mention their name as much as
Yeah.
some of the others, but blocking that edge. You mentioned Jet Cornett, of course, Craig Coffey, Gage Barkley, another guy out there at tight end,
Yeah.
as
He
well
had
as
some
playing
big
like an
plays.
outside linebacker, defensive end spot. Those guys did great, and especially those linemen that don't get mentioned often, especially on the offensive side, unless it's a hold or something. But with Ethan Smith, Joel McCall, Nick Mars, Ruger Johnson, then you add junior Tegan Alexander as the starting center. But that group did such a great job. And then the other starter that will be coming back, Trevor Henry and Case Morgan on the defense. Those guys will be come back. And so South Harrison does. We looked at it, Andrew, and I talked to Coach Schoening. We'll put his interview on Friday. Has some pieces coming back next year and something to build on.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you were naming off the teams, I'm thinking to myself, man, we're losing a lot of talent, which we are, but that's going to give a new opportunity for some of these younger guys to get in there who have been, played on the scout team versus this dominant, South Harrison team and these seniors. And I'm sure they've mentored the younger guys pretty well. And there's a lot of uncertainty coming into the South Harrison season, which maybe is good as there's a new era coming in. But be very anticipating, looking forward to next season.
Well, and the opportunity maybe get Bryson Quinley, who was injured this year, was the what we thought was going to be the expected starting quarterback for South Harrison, and so a number of guys come back, and it's interesting because obviously your freshman year, a number of upperclassmen ended up not out for football, so you guys were kind of thrust into it as freshmen. So everyone kind of knew some of your names by the time you were juniors and seniors because you had to start as freshmen. But I think it may surprise some people that aren't close to the program for South Harrison, maybe even some other schools and teams next year. Some of these guys that you mentioned have been playing scout team that you see them maybe just on special teams or on the sideline, or if you go to a JV game. And just looking at that roster, definitely some pieces coming back for South Harrison to build around. Carson Nibel got thrown into the line with Joel McCall's injury on Friday, and so he's obviously a big returning guy. He'll be a sophomore next year, and so just some of those names we mentioned: Case Morgan and Trevor Henry played defense. Case a little bit, both of them a little bit on offense, but guys that'll be expected to play a lot more with that senior class leaving, and so a great season. 9-2, just great. I know they didn't get a couple things they probably wanted in a conference championship. That goes to Putnam County. and a district championship, and that'll be settled between Cameron and Mid-Buck. But great season for them. And just as we're wrapping up our fall, just to kind of recap, softball goes 26-11, makes the state championship game, finishes second. It's looking back on some of the stuff we covered, Andrew, just really a great time to be covering South Harrison athletics.
Yeah, great first year for Bulldog Sports TV for sure.
Yeah, girls golf finishes second in state as a team. Abby Owens fourth individually. Ainsley Clint sixth individually. Volleyball team ends up 10-14 with 2 ties, but get that first win in districts. Second time they've done that, got a postseason win. And so great things abound. And then for Bulldog Sports TV, we'll probably take a few weeks off from doing any Sports Central things, just because we have a little bit of a lull. But I'll pick up with basketball and wrestling, and we will get all those games started up here in early December. And I've already talked to the coaches, so we're going to keep up with coaching interviews. Coach Kel Watson, South Harrison varsity girls coach. Coach Aaron Fitzpatrick, we had him with softball. We'll get him South Harrison varsity boys coach, and then Casey McFall with wrestling. And so excited to cover our winter sports, and just thankful to have the opportunity to highlight South Harrison athletics, and it's fun. Andrew and I usually had a good time at games. We were in press boxes and different places, and had a good time. And real quick, let me switch over here with Andrew. We want to thank all of our sponsors. Harrison County Community Hospital, the sponsor of all of our Sports Central stuff, but also hold on, let me get to where I need to be here. And also want to thank O'Neill's Home Furnishings and Floor Coverings, again, Harrison County Community Hospital, Little Claire's Garden, Green Hills Insurance, Petty John Auto Center, Farmers Bank of Northern Missouri, the Bethany Rotary Club, Bethany Building Center, United Country Nelson Real Estate, El Nopal Authentic Mexican Food, BTC Bank, Hidden Acres Cabins, Shelter Insurance, Shane Jones of Bethany, Bethany Fuel Depot, and The Body Shop. And Andrew, this kind of just shows you what happened this year. This is through the end of October. And so we ended up with almost 180,000 total views of all of our content on Facebook, which is just crazy. Most of that audience, actually over 95% Northwest Missouri, but over 3,500 total interactions with our content, and over 20,000 page visits. That means people clicking on Bulldog Sports TV Facebook page. And then we really saw some growth a few weeks in our YouTube channel. I think because a lot of people started to go there realizing if they're watching on a Friday night or a Tuesday night or Thursday night with softball or volleyball, that you can watch Bulldog Sports TV on your 60-inch TV via YouTube. And so that was a great way. And that really picked up. And we had 3,541 total views, over 1,100 hours of content watched. And so really just amazing growth. It just took off from the beginning and went. And Andrew was a big part of helping us with all that, with our weekly show, and helped me with football. And so we appreciate that. If you're a business, I've got my email there. We started to reach out to businesses for our winter season. Already a number of our advertisers have jumped back in and said, hey, yeah, we want to be a part of that going into basketball and wrestling. And so looking to maybe reach some new ones as well. But we appreciate everyone that's tuned in, everyone that's shared our content. It's really, I was talking to Coach Schoening and when we did our interview that will air on Friday, and he was talking about it. It really is a labor of love. It's work. And Andrew's helped me pack, bags of equipment up to press boxes, and Cameron was like climbing a mountain as tall as their press box was. And there's a lot of work involved in it, but Andrew, being a former South Harrison Bulldog, he enjoys sports and athletics, and we enjoy just promoting those athletes. And I tell people, my wife and I moved here in 1999. We came from Bible College in Oklahoma and decided to move in Bethany. We both graduated from Albany, and we bled green and all those things. But now, right, we're in purple, and we're Bulldogs. We've lived in Bethany longer than we have in Albany during our lives. Our kids, one's already graduated South Harrison, one's a senior, one's a seventh grader, and so they're all Bulldogs. And we just appreciate everyone watching, appreciate all the sponsors, family sponsors as well, those people that just helped us along our journey. So, Andrew, do you have anything just you want to share with everyone before we sign off here with our final Fall Sports Central?
I had an awesome time. Luckily, like we said, fall sports this year was top notch, so we got to witness some really good games and some good teams, and ready for next year's football season, softball season to kick off. And I think I just got to end it on a go Dogs.
All right, so
Good luck.
we will. I appreciate that. Andrew always finishes with the "Go Dogs." He almost forgot last week.
I did, yeah.
That's his catchphrase. But we appreciate everyone watching. Again, we're going to take a couple weeks off. We'll still have stuff on our social media, letting everyone know what's going on. But with no sports going on currently, and with varsity stuff, we'll take a couple weeks off. I've actually contacted some former Bulldogs that we may have some interviews throughout this winter with some former Bulldogs that I think everyone would recognize, and we're excited about that. Excited for everyone that's been watching and sharing, and look forward to starting back up here in a few weeks in early December.